Good morning, Flosstube friends. My name is Annemiek and I am Annemiek from the Handwerk Boetiek here on YouTube. I am also on Instagram. You can find me there under _Handwerk_Boetiek, all in Dutch, as well as on Facebook under the Handwerk Boetiek. And I have a brick and mortar shop called the Handwerk Boetiek. You might have guessed it by now. All of these are linked in the description box below for your convenience. Today I'm going to talk about my stitching. So this is going to be an English video. I realize it is a bit confusing having both Dutch and English videos on my channel. The Dutch videos are linked to the newsletter, which we send out twice a month, and the English ones are about my stitching. Now, you can easily see in the description of the video whether this is an English or Dutch video, or you can go to the playlist and click whichever one you want to see. The Dutch ones are about new charts, fabrics, threads, anything exciting that happens in the shop. And as I said, the English ones are about my stitching. It's been about 5 weeks, I think, since I recorded my last stitching video. I have quite a bit to show you. I have 4 finishes. I have an MIA project. I have a couple of WIPs, and of course there are plans. There are always plans, at least that's how I feel. I'm recording this in the kitchen. Mr. Pookie is around. He's opposite of me, sitting in the windowsill up high. It might be that he jumps back on the table and jingle the video a little bit, the telephone. I apologize in advance, but this was my window of opportunity to record the video, so I decided to go for it. Hopefully he'll behave himself. We are very busy getting ready for our stitching day, which happens on Saturday, June 22nd. We will have Gineke Arnolli over, who worked for the Frisian Museum for years on end on the textiles. She's very knowledgeable on Frisian samplers, and we are thrilled to have her give a lecture. I can hardly wait to see what she's going to talk about. She's going to bring old samplers as well. So I'll do my best and take photos and make little videos so that I can compile a short video of the whole day so that you have an idea of what it was like. Hello, Pookie. And then in the afternoon, the ladies are getting a kit, and this time I designed the chart for the afternoon session. We're very happy with how everything went, what it looks like. I'm not going to say more about it because it is a surprise for the ladies who are coming next weekend, but we're very much looking forward to it. We are in the process of cutting, serging all the fabrics, cutting the finishing materials, getting all the last things done. If you've ever done a larger event, you know that there's only so much you can do ahead of time, and then in the last 2 weeks it feels like all the other things need to be done. But we're right on schedule and we're very happy. We are also very much looking forward to meeting our customers next weekend. Some of them will travel quite a distance, and usually we only see them once or twice a year, so it'll be great to see them again. So that's all about what's happening over here. Let me show you the stitching. Now, when we last talked, I explained my Stitch Mania plans, and as much as I would have liked to, there's no way I can start 31 projects in a month and hope to get them finished at some point in time. Not with all the, like the American homes that I'm still working on. I'm still working on the Prairie Schoolers Evergreen, and adding that many projects would just be too much for me. So what I decided to do was to start 1 project each weekday in the week that I had off from my other job. So I could start 5 projects, and then the project that I would have started on Monday, I would keep on stitching on every Monday in May until it was done. The good news is, out of those 5 projects, 3 of them are missing. The sad news is that out of the 3 that are missing, 1 project is missing in action. I'm sure it's around here somewhere, I just don't know where. So we'll see, it'll turn up, I have no doubt about that, but for some reason I couldn't find it this morning, and I didn't want to spend more time looking for it and losing time to record the video. So to start with that finish, what I did stitch and couldn't find is Bobbin by Stacy Nash Designs. I have had a mice collection when I was in my teens and early 20s, and I think they're now in boxes packed away, but I have over like 250 different mice, different materials. I've got like a orchestra, I got a little school class, I got glass mice, I got wooden mice, porcelain, clay, you name it, and I pretty much got it. What I didn't have was a stitched mouse. So Bobbin is stitched and is no doubt enjoying her time around, but we'll see. She'll show up eventually, and then I can show you, and you can see for yourself that it is truly finished. I'm doing this a little out of order. I think just to get this out of the way, I think I started her on I started her on Friday, and I know that because despite my plans of only stitching on her on Fridays, I was so enthralled with her that I kept stitching on her during the weekend, and I got her finished by Sunday. So that was my Friday project. Now, rewind back to Monday. On Monday, I decided to start Imprints Falala and Merry Christmas by Heart and Hand Needle Art. I have stitched most of these. I've done the Harvest and Home. I've done the Berries and something else. And the only one I think I haven't stitched so far is the Valentine one, which will happen at some point in time. But as Valentine's Day has already passed, that might be later in the year. These are so much fun to stitch. They ask for 2 colors. You can use any scrap of fabric, and they're easy to stitch. This is what I would call comfort stitching. It is, of course, you have to count and you have to make sure you put everything in the right place, but it is just very relaxing to stitch. I chose for Edinburgh Platinum Linen, and I stitched it with these 2 colors of silky threads, which to me are like, these are kind of like my Christmas colors. I love the green and I love the bright red, and that all turned into this. I think this way you can see the green a little better. If I put it closer, yeah, there we go. What I did change was at the very top, I stitched the star in gold, and I also stitched the top of the bauble in gold as well. I like to have a little gold in my Christmas stitching. I think what I'll do for the finishing is make these into 2 little separate ornaments and have them hanging in my little tree. I've got a little tree that we also put up in the shop most years, and this is like the perfect size. It's not very big. Let me see if I can show you. This is my thumb. It is a well, it's pretty much the size of my thumb. So it's not very big, and I think it will look really darling in the tree. We'll go look for some matching fabric on the back. I've got something in mind, so I hope that will work out. I think this took me about 2-3 stitching sessions. I did this pretty much on Mondays until it was done. Let me see. Then the other project that I started, this is also a series, and I've come to love this. This is Snip Snip by October House Fiber Arts, and with all the embroidery scissors, you know, I just had to stitch it. It's been on my list for quite a while, and it seemed like Stitch Mania was the perfect time to get it started. So I did start it. This one is not ironed. And here it is. Here's my snip snip. As you can see, I changed the words to knip knip, which is a loose translation of snip snip in Dutch, but I thought it would be nice to translate it into Dutch. I stitched it 1/2 on the Avorio linen from Graziano, and I did a combination of called for and my own threads. I didn't really keep track of what I changed. I pretty much looked at the picture and collected my threads as I saw fit, and I think I stitched it in 2 or 3 evenings. It's a lot of fun to stitch these. I am thinking of getting a whole collection of these small skinny pillow. No, it's not small, the skinny pillows, because I really, really like it. I've got the next one lined up. It's the pumpkin one. And again, I'll try and see if I can figure out, because pumpkin is pompoen in Dutch, and I would like to keep going with translating the text to Dutch. Now, I know that I stitched Deck the Halls last year, and I didn't translate that one. It's also a little more difficult to translate. If you just have one word, or like in this case, two short words, it's easier. Deck the Halls would be more difficult to translate correctly, and also to have the space to stitch the letters. So anyways, this is Snip Snip by October Fiber House. October House Fiber Arts. Okay. Then I have a finish that I am not 100% sure whether I showed this before. I might have shown this before, I don't know. On Sundays I stitch with my Australian friend Bernadette, and a while ago I finished Catherington by Needlework Press. I stitched her with 100-free silks in a red and a blue that was in my stash. I can look up the colors if you need them. And stitch this also on the 38 count Avorio linen. And I had pretty much forgotten that she was already done. She needs a frame. I just want to have her up either in the shop or in my living room to enjoy. And then the Trouble Child. I don't know if I talked about this before. I know I've asked some people on Facebook and Instagram what they would do. It is all about Valentine Day Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And what happened was that I started stitching, and somehow over here, I missed one of the little motifs here, and so my stitching was 3 rows short. Of course, I didn't realize that until I had stitched all of this, all of this, all of this, and then when I stitched this, I'm getting really close to this motif, and I don't have enough space for all the motifs that are supposed to go in between. Well, I could either go on stitching and fix the problem, well, fudge the problem basically, or take out everything that I'd stitched, which I thought was also not a good idea. So what I did is I fudged it and I called it a day. So here's my version of Valentine Day Quaker. Now, this really gave me more than enough problems. This heart is supposed to be, there's supposed to be 2 stitches in between that heart and this heart. And can you believe it? I stitched this twice and I made the same mistake twice. So when I went down here, it didn't line up. And I was like, I'm not gonna take it out again. So what I did was, this motif is supposed to be 1 stitch over this, and I decided to line it up with the motif over here. And then the heart that is supposed to be in between the little birds, I'd already stitched it, and then I ripped it out again because it was not in the middle of this tiny space here between the birds. And I decided to do a little row of stitches up there so that it wouldn't be as noticeable. Well, now that you know, you can see it and you can think whatever you want. I'm calling this a day. I think it's an adorable pillow. It is stitched on 40 count Newcastle linen antique white, and it's stitched with a hand-dyed Gloriana limited edition thread. So you won't find this in any shop, not exact same thing, but you can find something close. I really wanted to use a color that had like the pinks in there, the peachy color, something that I wouldn't really normally use for my stitching. So it was really nice to use this skein. And I think I started with a 4-yard skein, maybe, yeah, 4 yards, I think. I think you need about 3 to 4 yards of 12 ply. It might have been, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been a 3-yard skein because it was a limited edition. Anyhow, the Gloriana has 12 strands in a skein, and you will definitely need about 3, I think. If you want to know for sure, let me know in the comments, and I'll look up the skein and see how much was on there originally, because I know how much is left. I've got like 1 full yard left and 1 1-yard strand. So if it is a 3-yard skein, you would need 2 yards, and then if it's a 4-yard, you would need 3 yards. So just, it takes more than you might think. It looks like a deceptively small design. It's not big at all. But even if you stitch it with 1 strand, these Quaker motifs take up quite a bit of thread. Just want to warn you. So that was not one of my Mania starts. I feel like I'm completely all over the place. This was not a Mania start. This was started in February before I left for Nashville. And since it was on 40 count, I didn't want to bring it to Nashville because, you know, 40 count, hotel lighting, tired eyes. I thought that's not a good idea. But now it is done. I'm very pleased with that. And this is checked off in my book. The problem child is solved. Then we're moving over to works in progress, or WIPs, and it won't surprise you, I'm still working on my American Homes chart. Finished up this block. I think I finished this up last time, and I'm now working on this block over here. I'm a little behind. I only have these 2 blocks left to do. My plan was to do half a block each month this year. It might be a bit later, I don't know. Once I think I get the whole tree stitched up, then it'll go a little easier because the background is mostly fill-in. So this is how far I am on the block. Let me just put this a little bit tighter. There we go. That makes it a little easier to see. I got the house pretty much done. I just need to fill in the roofs. And then the bird on top of the house, there's like a star and a moon. And then on this side, I need to fill in the tree. So I just keep working on this. It is a beautiful piece. It's probably one of the biggest pieces I've ever stitched, especially with all those blocks that are completely filled in. But it is lovely to stitch. I'm stitching this with 1 strand of Soie d'Alger silk on a 36 count Edinburgh antique white, 1/2, and just as suggested by the designers, it is by the Werkstatt für historische Stickmuster, and it is still one of, for somebody who loves houses, this is one of the prettiest charts you can imagine. So I'm hoping that by the end of the summer, maybe August, maybe early September, I will have it done. Like I said, I'm a little behind with the, that half a block should have been finished in May, and we're already mid-June almost, so I doubt, it might just take me a little bit longer. Maybe when I have my summer break, that I might be able to stitch a bit more. We'll see. It is, I keep telling myself, this is a hobby, this is not work, and some evenings I just want to stitch on something else. Okay, then going back to Mania, see, it's a little bit all over the place. On Thursday, I started Christmas Moon by Plum Street Samplers. Here it is. These funny rabbit's hairs are just so cute to stitch, and I really like this little bit of Christmas. I love the house. So I worked along. I feel like I've got quite a bit accomplished. I got the house pretty much done. I just need to fill in the door and the windows. I stitched up the moon, the hair. I'm working on the second tree. And then I decided that I would start the band below. It's a little hard to see, but it's there. I think once the other colors are in there, it's a little bit more prominent, and then there's like a border all around. So this will take me quite a bit of time to finish. This is not a quick finish. but it is great to stitch on, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm stitching this with the called for threads on a 36 count piece of vintage barley by Lakeside Linen that I found in my stash. And I know Lakeside Linen over here in Europe is pretty much impossible to get, but this looked like the perfect piece and the perfect color for this particular design. So I'm just enjoying it. There's, you know, we can find a replacement in the regular Zweigart linens. That's not a problem at all. I'm just at a point where I really want to use up more of the fabrics that I have in my stash. And some of them have been there for years. Some might even have been there since before I started the shop or very early on. And I never used them. And I find that a little bit, not waste, because, you know, I know I will use them. But I think that by using them, I do justice to the piece. I just like it that I can go into my own stash and pick out a fabric that I really like and work on that. So that's Christmas Moon, Christmas Mini Moon. And then you already saw it on Friday. I started one of the cookie cutters by Kathy Barrick. This was a Nashville release. I'm pretty sure you can guess which one I started. And yes, it is the cat over here. I was thinking about... Okay, this is hilarious. I'm spending like 15 minutes trying to find bobbin. Remember? Okay, I found bobbin. Bobbin was stitched on the other side of my cookie cutter. So here is bobbin. She was stitched with the called for threads, I think, apart from the darker red, because I didn't have that skein already in my collection, and I just picked something that was in my collection. But here is bobbin. Isn't she the cutest little mouse? I just love her so much. And I am so glad that I found her. Oh my word, this is really silly. Anyways, back to the cookie cutter. I started on the cat up there, and here she is. She's not completely done, but I'm making good progress. She's stitched on a 36 count Edinburgh Flex 1/2. This is with, I think, pretty much the called for DMC threads. Now, however, I am contemplating that, I don't know if you can truly see it very well on the camera. Over here are kind of like beige brown colors, which I don't really think, it gives it a bit of a drab look. So I think I changed the color for the bird to make it a little bit more orangey, stand out a bit more. And now I'm contemplating of adding some antique pink rose colors for the rest of the cat. So we'll see how that goes on. I started filling in the blue for the sky because I just wanted to have some fill-in stitches, and that's very relaxing, but I really like her. It's a very pretty little cat. I might stitch the whale as well. I haven't decided yet. I've gotten a bit on a whale kick. I have no idea why. I think I've told before in another video that I'm not really a sea person. You don't make me very happy by inviting me to go to the beach. Well, I would love to spend time with you, but doesn't really have to be the beach. Take me to the woods, take me to, you know, a nice park, I don't know, anything, trees, grassland, hills, I'm there. The sea, sand, beach, not really my thing. So why I am on a whale kick, I have no idea. But I decided to just go for it, and maybe I'll stitch this one next, because ever since I saw them at Kathy's booth in Nashville, like a lot of things, they're so much prettier when you see them in real life. And these are fun projects to stitch, especially once you've done all the motifs. You can just go and do the fill-in, which is a lot of fun. So we'll see. First of all, I have to finish my cat cookie cutter and make a decision about the colors. I think that stalled me for now because I wasn't really sure about the colors. And now I have to see if the colors will look good or not, but we'll see, we'll see. And then we're on to my, no, it's not my last WIP. I'm still stitching on Evergreen. This is Evergreen by the Prairie Scholar. Is there anything better than stitching a Prairie Scholar? I think, you know how Laura from Brenda and the Serial Starter says that everybody needs to have a red sampler going on. I think everybody should also have a Prairie Scholar going on. This is comfort stitching at the best, I think. The charts are clear. She uses a limited palette of colors mostly, and it is just so much fun to stitch. And she did such an amazing job designing these pieces. So I'm working on the 7th block. I have 2.5 blocks to go. Here we are. I stitched the houses down there, and I started with the dove, difficult word, and these are the other blocks that I have already finished. I did the owl before this, and now I'm working on this part. Now here's a question for you. Over here it says peace. I hope you can see that above the dove it says peace. Now there are no words in the rest of the design, as you can see. And color me, I don't know what it is, but I have problems with that. Not the word itself, but because it's the only block that has a word in it. And I'm wondering whether I'm going to stitch it or not, or whether I'm going to add, you know, one of the holly leaves that is in one of the other blocks and put it up there. So my question to you is, what would you do? Would you stitch the word, and I can translate it to Dutch and stitch the Dutch word? There will be enough space. It has the same amount of letters, so that won't be a problem. But what would you do? Would you change it, or would you just stitch the word? And I know the world can use a lot of peace at this moment, but I don't know. I don't, like I said, it's not the sentiment itself, but it is the fact that none of the other blocks have any words in them. So let me know what you think, and we'll take it from there. I might leave it open till the very last minute and stitch the other 2 blocks and then see if I still think it is a problem or not. Let me just show it to you one more time. I'm stitching it on a 25 count linen, 2/2, and with the called for DMCs. It is so pretty. I wish she was still designing. I'm very grateful that she does a yearly Santa. And I think Hoffman told me on the Nashville market that they already have the one for 2025. So at least we've got another year covered, but I really wish she did more. I love her stuff. And then something I haven't worked on in a while, and I can't show you the picture because there is no picture. This is a free graph by The Good Huswife. And if you've been stitching for a long time, The Good Huswife used to publish charts, and she also used to work with Kathy Barrick. I think they published under Chart Makers. And some of those charts are amazing. And it's not like Kathy doesn't do amazing things now, but it's like timeless designs. You could still stitch them and you could still be very happy. Anywho, this is a freebie by her that I found in my stash, and I really, really like it. So I'm stitching it with the called for DMCs, and it is on a piece of 40 count. I think this is Café au lait by Zweigart, the 40 count, 1/2, and I'm pretty close. The year says 1998, but I might change that to 1898, 99, or whatever. Not because the year has any significant meaning to me, but because I think it looks more like an old piece than it does from the late 90s. And I still need to work. There's like a dog here, or I might turn that into a cat. I need to do some initials over here, and up here I need to finish some things as well. This was one of the pieces that I started going to Nashville that I took with me, which of course was brilliant, not, because 40 count, there we go again, bad hotel lighting. There's no way I can stitch on 40 count on a plane. And so it's been sitting there for a little bit, and I think I just need to pick it up and finish it because it'll be a darling little pillow. So that was all my stuff for today. I'm just really thrilled that I found bobbin. Goodness, goodness, goodness. I knew I had stitched it on a piece of linen that I was using for something else, but I didn't realize it was on the back of my cookie cutter. So the MIA little mouse is found. MIA no longer. Okay, that's that. Then as far as plans go, I have a rather unusual plan. I'm trying to find the chart. October House Fiber Arts has several skinny pillows. There's a pumpkin one, a tomato one, there's the itch to stitch, deck the halls, there's the snip snip, and she recently released Faded Flag, which is this one. Now, I don't stitch a whole lot of patriotic pieces. It doesn't make much sense. But in this case, I think I'm gonna stitch the Faded Flag because I have a plan with this. I am leaving in September, at the end of September, to go to a retreat that is being hosted by Dying to Stitch. I am thrilled that I got in. It is the last retreat that Alma from Backblur Designs is doing, and I am just over the moon that I'm able to attend. Now, I think this piece would be a lovely reminder of that time. And what I'm thinking of is that on the back, I might stitch the initials of my table ladies and maybe gents, of Alma, of the Pat and Anne from Dying to Stitch, of other people that I might meet there. I think that would be a really nice reminder of a very, very special weekend. I have to see, somebody on Instagram, I think it is What Do I Stitch Next, posted that Country Sampler in Spring Green, Missouri, stitched it on a 20 count linen, which makes it of course a lot bigger, but it'll be a lot easier to see, of course. It'll be like comfort stitching. So I have to decide whether I'm going to stitch it on a larger count fabric or whether I'm going to continue on my 38 count Avorio and stitch it on that. I don't know. I think it might be fun to have a larger pillow as well. It's going to be about 12 inches if I stitch it on like a 25 count linen. So I'll have to see what I do. It's funny because these lines are stitched in like 3 or 4 different colors. I think it's three different colors of red, rosy colors, which is really fun, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna see how this is gonna work out. This might be one of the projects that I'm gonna stitch in my summer break, because I think when you're traveling, you know, when you're in a hotel, I mean, I'll bring my light with me. I've got this really nice light that I can bring, that I can charge, and I can put it everywhere. But still, it's kind of nice to have something that's a little easy on the eyes as well. We'll see. I'll keep you updated whether I pick the lower count fabric or the higher count fabric. If you have an opinion about it, let me know. I'd love to hear it. And I think that's all for today. I hope you have a great weekend. The weather has been pretty appalling over here. On Monday, it rained pretty much the whole day. Well, it didn't rain, it poured, basically. It was unbelievable. I think some places got like more rain than they usually get in 1 month. So just to give you an idea. It's a little better today. It's kind of dry with some showers, but I think the weekend is not looking very, very good. I don't know. Hopefully you'll get some stitching time regardless of the weather. Enjoy yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Have a great weekend. Bye, friends.